tired. It is officially day 1 of my training. It was supposed to start last week, but I got really sick last week, so I'm still a little congested, but I'm good enough to actually start my training. I definitely ran slower. I haven't ran in like 3 weeks, mostly because the first 2 weeks I had an injury, so I had to let my leg heal. And then last week, like I said, I got really sick, so I officially started on my 2nd week of training, which the only difference is that I'll be running 5 miles for my long run this week instead of 4. And I'm not gonna be running too many miles because it's Thanksgiving week, so I'm running a total of 10 miles this week. Yeah, my legs hurt, I'm tired, and it's really cold. I forgot how cold it is to run in the mornings, so I gotta strategize. Oh, wait, hold up. Let me see if I can clean this a little. There we go, that's better. I just came back from one of my long runs. Today is week 3 and I did 6 miles today. The only reason I wanted to record today, a little recap, is because it's raining. It rained the whole 6 miles and my body's kind of cold right now. But that was so much fun. I think I even cried a little while it was raining. I don't know. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. I improved my time because I'm starting to work on my posture, my running posture, my whatever it's called, my running form. There we go. And it's really been helping, so I'm very happy. But anyway, that's it. That's all I have for today. Good morning. So I wanted to give a quick update just because this is, I feel, a little bit significant. I got new shoes and I wore them today for my run, and oh my god, did I die a little. My calves hurt. It is the hardest run I went on because my shoes are not broken in, and my calves were aching and burning. And that's all I wanted to say. I ran 7 miles in the rain and very high winds on Saturday, and it wasn't as painful as this morning where my calves literally were about to give out on me 1 mile in. So I'm excited to break in these shoes. Other than that, they're really nice. They have a lot of good support, so I'm very excited. That's all I have to say. Okay, I have showered. I have started to stretch. I'm going to stretch a little bit more right now. And I had a banana protein shake just right now. I'm going to go get lunch in a bit. We're waiting for some friends. But today marks my halfway point, the end of my halfway point. I did a half marathon today, so 13.1 miles. And my body hurts. Because it wasn't until like 2-3 weeks ago that I finally started adding hills to my run. So right now my average mile pace is at 11 minutes, which is, you know, good. I like that pace. My problem is that my long distance pace, my long run pace, has gone down from 12 minutes to 14 minutes and 20 seconds. And that's because, again, I'm running up hills now. Okay, before I give my stats, I've had a bit of a breakdown. I got really nervous last week because I was looking over the course and everything, and I just got really nervous because I'm just like, this course is all hills. Like, yeah, there's flat areas, but it's very hilly. It is not a beginner's course, and this is literally my first marathon ever. I don't know what I was thinking when I signed up for it. I said I'm gonna do it, and I'm very stubborn, so I'm gonna do it. But it really freaked me out. I looked into it. The highest point is 560 feet, and in total throughout the whole course it's 2,182 feet of elevation, and you know, that's a lot. what really like made me the most nervous is that I need to maintain a pace of 13 minutes and 45 seconds to be able to stay within the race. I need to finish by 6 hours. Today, my half marathon, like I said, my average pace is at 14 minutes and 20 seconds. So I am not keeping pace. And I finished the half, so the 13.1 miles at 3 hours and 8 minutes. I really need to push to get my pace lower, and I mean, it's just getting used to the hills. However, what is working to my advantage is that because I do live in Santa Cruz, there is a lot of hills here, and I have been running up that hill. Every time I say that, that's all I'm gonna think about. So, well, yes, my pace was really slow and I finished pretty slow. I have gone higher than the max point in the marathon. So from where I live to my highest point of like Santa Cruz, it's 816 feet continuously going uphill. And that's like 3 miles of just uphill. So my pace is slow, but I already passed the max point. And right now that I only did 13.1 miles, I reached a elevation of 1,198 feet. So I think as long as I'm able to get used to the hills I'm running and get used to just like going up, I will be able to keep my pace. I will be able to finish. I have that mindset of I will be, but I still have my freak out moments. Like I will still freak out. But anyway, I just wanted to give you all my halfway remarks because it's been 12 weeks of training. I'm currently running 5:45 and then my long distance. And so, geez, this week I literally ran 27 miles. So my body is just aching. I've been going to the gym, so I'm tired, but it's halfway there. It's post run right now. I ran 20 miles. I'm exhausted, but I got like 2-3 weeks left of my training and then the marathon. So I think I'm in good shape. I'm not gonna lie, this run I cut it close. I went over by like 10 seconds of what I was supposed to do for my average mile. I'm supposed to be running at a pace of 13:45 and I ran at a pace of 13:55. But 2 weeks ago I did 19 miles and I ran at a pace of 13:30 for my average mile. So I'm not that concerned. I just know that I'm tired. Ever since I got my pup, I have not been consistent with my training. I've been doing my long distance, but my day-to-day training where I run like 5 to 6 miles, I have not done 6 miles. I cut it at between 3 to 4 miles just because, one, I don't have time. I'm exhausted if I wake up earlier than 5. So I just don't have time to run those extra miles. And also I've noticed that the more I run during the week, the more tired I am from my long distance, and it's really was affecting my performance. So for these last few weeks, I just kind of listened to my body and took breaks when needed. I wasn't as strict about my training, but I am in a good place right now. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, we are in the hotel. It is Saturday, the day before the marathon. I don't live that far from here, but also driving to my marathon in the morning was going to be really hectic, so we just got a hotel nearby to stay overnight. Right now we're gonna go to the expo to go pick up my bib and other stuff, so let's go over there. Okay, quick little recap. I came back from the expo, picked up my bib and my shirt, and I was really overwhelmed and stressed out because some plans just didn't work out the way I thought it was gonna work out, and I was like close to a breakdown, like a meltdown, because I'm just really overwhelmed. But it's okay, we figured it out, we're moving on, and we're gonna go get dinner now. left pup in the hotel, and hopefully everything goes okay. Okay, so charro. It's the night before. It's 8, so I'm gonna go to sleep now. If I fall asleep in the next few minutes, I'll get like at least 7 hours of sleep. I took some melatonin and I was already kind of tired to begin with, so I actually am pretty tired to go to sleep. Tomorrow morning I have my marathon, so we'll see how it goes. Hey yo, race day. I'm not gonna talk that loud because there's a vent right here. And that probably will carry my voice. Outfit, leggings, with my shoes later. Big. I'm gonna be wearing a hat, but it's literally 3:14 in the morning, so I'm gonna put it on, I think, later. Race day, and I'm a little late, so we're speed walking, but also I feel better because a lot of people are walking, so something happened. Yeah, I'll be there soon. Okay, so hopefully this is gonna be a quick recap because one, he's about to wake up any minute now and I don't want to have to record with my things out because he is in his very big curiosity phase. And yeah, anyway, quick recap. So I finished my marathon. I didn't record the last bit because I was just so tired. My phone was so sticky from all of the gels that I was eating throughout the marathon, so the videos would have been really bad, and I was just so emotionally done with it as well. Okay, just a quick little recap of what happened at the end. I cried, of course, because I am a crybaby. No, but for reals, I'm a very emotional person. I cry when I'm frustrated. I cry when I'm mad. I cry when I'm sad. So I am a crybaby. My family knows me for that. I received my medal. It was put on me like so. And I went to go see my partner who was waiting for me with my dog. And it was just a very emotional reunion for me because throughout this whole time I was training, towards the end of it, I was just so terrified basically that I would not finish and I'd be like all this work was for nothing. And it all just came to an end as soon as I crossed the finish line. All those months of training, all those days of waking up early, like the constant body aches I had throughout my marathon training finally finished. I can easily say that at the moment I said I never want to do it again. That was one of the most, that was such an amazing experience for me. It was really fun. Okay, so around mile 13 we were supposed to get some snacks, some energy gels, stuff like that, but I originally came into the marathon knowing that I wasn't going to be one of the first people to finish. I was in the very last wave, So I knew that, you know, there was going to be a bunch of people. There was about 5,000 people for the marathon. So I knew there was going to be a lot of people ahead of me. What I didn't expect was that when we passed, they didn't really have any more snacks. They had the gels, but that was it, and it was no caffeine gels. So I wonder if that was just what it was for the whole marathon, like for the whole time that was there, or since we were just the last people, there just wasn't enough snacks. But I was really looking forward to those gels because I only had 2 and I had already finished mine, and I was very, very low on energy at that point, just because I mean I was up since 3 in the morning, and running all of that, even though I did have like a pretty big breakfast, big in my standards, maybe not a full meal, but again, it was my first time. I was really expecting something, maybe like a slice of orange or something, but at least when I passed by I didn't see anything. I know a lot of us were very disappointed when we passed by through there, and I also know that the volunteers were really, really tired by that point too, because they also have been up since 3 in the morning, maybe earlier. They've been working this event for like way longer than we had arrived too, so I very much understand that the volunteers were tired. And I don't know, it was just like, because of that, my energy just kind of dropped a lot, and I think it was just the lack of like caffeine, the lack of food, the lack of literally calories to keep me moving. I was just really not feeling it. Eventually I made it to, I want to say mile 20, maybe a little bit right before that. I was falling behind on the time that I wanted to finish, and I ended up having to finish with the pace setters, which, you know what, that was the best decision I made at that time. And I kind of wish that I had joined the pace team from the start, because they were really good. Oh my god, I wish I knew their names, but since I joined so late, by the point that I joined, they kind of knew each other already. So the pace team, I'll see if I can look it up and put their names there. They were so great taking us along this ride. Like, they did so good. My goal for this run was to be at like I wanted to be with the pace team that was supposed to end in 5 hours and a half, but the problem was that there was no pace team. They told us we were going to have increments of, I think, 5-10 minutes, but literally it was like finish at 5:15 or finish at 5:45, something like that. No, 5:50 or 5:50. And it's just like, what about the people who wanted to finish in between? So basically there was just this chunk of us that we were all trying to aim to finish at 5:30, but none of us are pace setters. I'm pretty sure not a lot of them had experience. And if they did have experience, again, they're not pace setters. So we kind of were just staying in each other's circle, basically. It was kind of funny how it worked. Every time I saw someone pass by and I was taking a break and they were getting too far, I'm just like, okay, I gotta catch up. So that's kind of how it went without the pace team. And my goal was, I wanted to stay 10 to 15 minutes ahead of the group that was going to finish at 5:50, because that was my absolute last chance. If they passed me at an early stage of the marathon and I couldn't keep up, that would say I'm out. Because there were 2 cutoff points. There was a cutoff point at 15 miles, you had to finish by 10:30. I don't know how many hours that is. And then at 21 miles, I don't even remember what it was. I just knew that I made the cutoff point. I wanted to stay ahead because I knew that there was this mountain, this hill that was the biggest hill with the most elevation. It was like 600 and something feet, coming from like literally zero or something like that. And I just knew it was going to be rough. Honestly, in my opinion, the hills actually were not that bad. I feel like the hills here in Santa Cruz where I practiced were so much more steep, because they would go from like 0 feet of elevation to 300 feet of elevation in a mile. So they were constantly steep. While over there in Big Sur, it was like in the span of a few miles. So that Hurricane Peak hill that I said that had up to like 600 feet of elevation, something like that, I think that was in the span of maybe 4 or 5 miles, maybe less. It might be less. Because I just remember that by mile 6, it was so windy and it was just kind of hard to push through, and it was going up. So I knew there was a point where I knew, okay, this is the start of Hurricane Peak. I can feel the elevation. I'm going to walk it, because if I attempt to run, I'm going to burn out. So I walked that whole hill, and that's why I wanted to be ahead of the pace team, because I knew I was going to walk. I didn't know how they were going to run it. I don't know if they were going to run the whole thing, if they were going to run walk. I didn't know how they were going to go through it. So I wanted to be ahead to set my own pace, and I did pretty good. Like I said, the hills weren't not that bad. I thought they would be worse. It's just because I was expecting them to be a lot more steep. Thankfully, they were not that steep. It was just spread out throughout literally the whole course. What was really hard about Hurricane Peak is that it felt like a hurricane. There was a point where I felt like I was gonna fly away. Like the wind kept hitting my legs, and my legs kept just tripping over each other because of how strong it was. I had joked about like being happy that I trained during the atmospheric rivers that we got here in California, because those were really, really, like, I trained literally in one of the heaviest days of the, like, that we had rain, because I had to. I'm just like, if I don't run today, I have to run tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow's gonna be worse than today. So I ran with really, really high winds, and it just helped me train for that moment, because that moment, if I didn't train for that, I probably would have had struggle to go up, because like I said, there was wind just coming at you from all directions. It was rough. So many hats were lost there, so many. Thankfully not mine. After that, I was able to keep my pace again, and like I said, once I reached mile like 16, that's when I was kind of like, I was losing my pace, I was losing motivation, and I was getting tired. Eventually, like, the pace team caught up to me like around 20 miles in, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna go with them, because I know for a fact that they are going to finish. So even if it's not at the time that I wanted to finish, I will finish. Like I said, best decision ever. Oh my god, I didn't even notice those last 6 miles. I did not want to count. I was not looking at my watch. I just was going with them. I would stop when they stopped. I would walk and run whenever they said it, and I would make sure that I always was right behind the pace setter that was always in the front, because I knew that if I stayed in the back, I would slack off. So I was always right behind her. The other pace setter was always doing jokes. They were keeping us motivated. I just felt really good being with that team, with that group, and I feel like that group literally just brought everyone who was aiming for that 5:30 finish to the end, because so many of us were caught up into that group, because like I said, there was no pace setter for the time that a lot of us were trying to aim for. So pretty sure a lot of us burned out because of that. Thankfully, like, they were there and they got me through. Like I said, I don't even remember when I passed mile 21, which was the last cutoff, and I don't even remember how many minutes there were left until we were cut off. All I can remember is just seeing a bunch of buses go back with people who finished the relay race that was going on at the time, but also with people who got cut off from the race. So hold on. Yeah, seeing the people go back on the bus, it made me more determined that I did not want to be part of that group and that I would finish. So eventually we got to the last mile. There was 1.2 miles left. We made it up that last hill, and it was all downhill from there. And the pace team is just like, if you have any energy left, if you want to beat the time, go. Like, don't stop running when we start walking. You just keep going if you're able to keep going. I remember I'm just like, okay, it's all downhill, just run. Don't think about it, just run. Don't even jog, just run. I ran that last mile. Let's just say half a mile left. I ran it. I just ran. I'm just like, I'm going to finish. I want to be done. My hips hurt, my knees hurt. I'm old and my hips hurt. I have hip problems. I really need to finish right now. And I just ran and I crossed the finish line, and geez, I held my tears all the way until I was able to see my partner, and then just like completely fell apart, because I was just like, I don't know what hurts more. If like
my legs, or the fact that I'm already done and all this training was done. Like, I just really didn't know what I was crying, if it was just all the emotion from all of the training and just knowing that I finished and I accomplished a goal of mine, or if it was from the pain that my body was going through. It was definitely both, but I was so happy. Do I recommend this? Yes, it is a beautiful experience. I trained with music and podcasts so I wouldn't get bored, because that's a really big thing about running, is that after a while you could get bored. But the course was just so gorgeous and windy. It was windy. I did not want to lose my AirPods. That I just really didn't listen to music or listen to a podcast. I think maybe at most I listened to an hour, and that was just like in between, until I find that I'm just like, I don't even want to try to put on my earphones anymore because it's too windy. So I did listen to some music, but for the most part, it was just me and my need to prove to myself that I can finish this marathon. Would I do another marathon? At that moment, I said, I do not ever want to put myself through this ever again. But just thinking back to it and how excited I was, and then telling everyone like my stories about it, and it was just such a beautiful experience that I want to do another marathon. Maybe not now. I think maybe later, in a year or two from now. I gotta rest. Right now, I can't think of running. I've been running for the past 6 months, and oh my god, I'm just tired of running, you know? But I don't think I would do Big Sur again, not because it was hard, but because it was such a beautiful experience and such a unique experience that I don't want to recreate it and then maybe something doesn't go the way I wanted to, and it ends up ruining that memory for me. So I wouldn't do Big Sur again. I think I would want to try something else, but I think I would do a marathon again. So my training, now I need my iPad because this is where I recorded my training. Okay, I'm gonna take this off. Do you see this? Do you see this? So my training was 24 weeks, and each week I would run Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Saturday. So Monday, Wednesday were my training runs, so that's where I would focus on like improve on just learning how to run and stuff like that. So I started off running 3 miles, 2 miles for my pace run, 3 miles, and it was just like that for maybe the first 6 weeks, and then it increased to 4 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, and then it would increase from 5 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles, 6 miles, 5 miles, 6 miles, and that's the highest I did. So that's how my week was. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I would run. Monday, Wednesday would be my training runs, and Tuesdays would be my pace runs. That's when I would focus on decreasing my pace, increasing my time, decreasing my time, just trying to have a good time. And my fastest mile was 10 minutes and 15 seconds, which is not that fast. It's really not that fast compared to other people, but for me that's pretty fast. I needed to have an average pace of 13 miles and 45 seconds to be able to finish this marathon on time, because you have a very strict 6-hour limit. Like I said, there were cutoff times. Running flat, that's no problem. I knew that if this marathon was flat, I would be a-okay with the training I had. Like the training honestly wasn't that. No, it was hard. I won't lie, it was hard. But what made it difficult was my long distance runs, which took place on Saturdays. I ran Saturdays. I didn't like running on Sundays. It started off at 4 miles and would just increase, right? So I was 4 miles, 6 miles, 7 miles, and then like it would taper down and then go up. I ran up to 20 miles, and I put a recording about that, and then I tapered down. I ended up running my longest for the week. I ended up running 37 miles that whole week when I did the 20-mile run plus my usual training. Probably less, because there was a point in my training when I got my dog where I just couldn't do 6-5-6. I just tried my best and did as many miles as I could. Another thing I focus on my training, especially when I would start feeling too sore to run, is I would make sure I would just be walking uphill consistently to make sure that I was preparing for those hills as well. And like I said, what made this training a lot more difficult was that I was practicing going uphill. I would purposely go through the steepest, biggest hills that I could find here in my city to practice for this marathon. They would be so big, so steep, but it wasn't as much elevation as the Big Sur one. In total, I think I did an elevation of 1,198 feet, while the elevation total, I think, of the marathon was 2,182 feet. The biggest hill that I got here in Santa Cruz was about 700 feet, 700 to 800 feet, because it's from all the way from like the bottom 0 feet to all the way up to campus, the top of campus, and that's a lot. Let me tell you, that is a lot. So I trained really hard to just practice for those hills. My end time ended up being 5 hours and I think 47 minutes, and my average pace was 13 minutes 11 seconds, which is pretty good because I was averaging on a, like when it came to long distance runs with the hills and everything, I was averaging between 13:30 and 13:50. So I was kind of nervous, like I said. My diet, I did not calorie count. I did not do any of that. I focused on eating as much carbs and protein as possible. I ate a lot. The more I ran, the more I ate. Just because I was going through so many calories when it came to running. Like, there was a lot, especially during like my Saturdays for my long distance run. I was going through a lot, so I ate pretty big meals. I didn't really focus on cutting anything out either, so I ate a pretty big variety. Honestly, I feel like diet wise it didn't change. I just made sure, like I said, I ate as much as I needed to, because if I was cutting calories or anything like that, I don't think I'd have the energy to go through this. So I want to say I ate intuitively, because that's what I did. I made sure that I wasn't going hungry. So obviously the day of, I stretched, I walked it off, I rested a lot. And the day after, to recover from my marathon, I called off. So I asked for the day off. My job knew I was doing this anyway, so they encouraged it, and I scheduled a day at the spa. I got a nice massage. It was so good. It really helped, just helped me relax my muscles, because obviously I was really sore and tense. And then I got to soak in a hot tub with some like herbal stuff in it, and I got some tea. It was just really nice. I made sure I stretched again, I walked. I pampered myself that day. And then again, I usually work Tuesdays and Thursdays in person. So on Tuesday when I had to go to work, I actually asked to work remote that day as well, because I was still a little bit sore. I was still walking like a penguin. So I needed to just work from home. And then I was fine. I was like getting better. So then Wednesday, I ended up going to the gym and started working out my arms. And I think Thursday I actually worked out my legs too. Not too much. But I did not want to stop working out fully, because I know that the best way to get over soreness is just by moving. Just moving, making sure you're stretching and stuff like that. So that's basically how I recovered. It's officially been a week. Yeah, a week since the marathon. I am doing so much better. I am weightlifting now for exercise, which is so nice. It's such a nice change of pace compared to just running nonstop. Let me show this off one more time. I obviously got a shirt, but I left it in the room, and I want my baby to sleep as much as possible, so I'm not going into the room to get my shirt. What's next with me? I'm just gonna focus on weightlifting. I feel like I lost a lot of muscle, even though, oh, I forgot to mention on my trainings on Fridays I did strength training, whether it was at home or in the gym. And I think I forgot to mention this, but I started running in the gym in the treadmill once the flooding got really bad here in Santa Cruz because it wasn't safe for me to run anymore. So I ended up getting a gym membership around January to start going to the gym to run. Just because, like I said, it was starting to get dangerous and there was flooding everywhere, so I really couldn't practice anywhere. So the gym was the safest space, and because I had the gym, I would do strength training at the gym on Fridays. But one day of strength training compared to like the whole week of running, I feel like I lost a lot of muscle in my upper body. In my, like, I'm toned. I definitely feel more toned because my legs are very much really nicely toned right now. But I feel like I lost a lot of like upper body muscle, so I'm trying to get back into that, trying to gain a little bit more muscle, trying to like gain more strength. I still can't do a pull-up. I can barely do a push-up, so I think that's my next goal. Do a pull-up, do a push-up. But yeah, that's all I have for you all today. So thank you all so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.